My beautiful YouTube peeps, what is good? Yours truly, Marv, back for another episode of Marv's Room. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in and to the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. I wanted to hop on here today to make this video as a follow-up video to the last video I put out in regards to helping a person kind of collapse time and space and changing the trajectory of their person from leaving one side of the world, going to another country on the other side of the world. And so you guys asked some questions about exactly what we did. Kind of, you wanted the more detailed, more nuanced description of what exactly took place. So I'm getting ready to go into that right now in this video. So let's just jump right into it. So one of the things that I want you guys to always remember is this stuff has nothing to do with the other person. Okay, as you guys know that have been studying LOA, law of assumption, law of attraction, whatever, all of this stuff solemnly has to do with you. Take your power back. It's never about what the other person is doing. It's never about necessarily controlling another person. It's always about raising your frequency, raising your vibration, and putting you in a place of understanding that you are the one that's being desired. You are the magnet. You are the one with the power, not giving your power away to someone else or a circumstance by worrying about the how and the when. So in this situation with this person that I work with one-on-one, now again, let me remind you guys, everything is different because there is no one size fits all with this LOA stuff. And so things have to be tweaked. So you got to look at your situation, your story, and ask yourself, okay, what may need to be tweaked with my situation and my story? Now, this right here, what I'm getting ready to go over with you is something that we had to go over with this specific person. Now, this might not apply to your current situation. So I don't want you guys to sit here and be like, because I know how you guys are. You guys get into these chats and you guys start thinking, you watch these videos and you say, oh, that's not true. That's not how it goes. That doesn't work for me. Or listen, there's no one size fits all. If it doesn't work for you, skip the video. Don't watch it no more, because half of y'all can't even watch a full 10 minute, 15-minute video anyways. Any YouTuber that has a YouTube channel, we all have the analytics, and analytics shows no matter if you have 100,000 subscribers, a million subscribers, most of your viewers aren't watching the full content. They're watching half of your video or less than half of the video. And then a lot of y'all wonder why you can't manifest shit, because y'all don't have no patience and no time. Yeah, I just had to go on that little rant real quick. Bite me. Now, let's jump into the video. What did I do specifically to help this guy manifest keeping his person around in his country? So the first thing we had to work on was I had to make this guy forgive himself, because he was very critical of his self-talk, his self-concept was very critical. Rehashing past comments he made in the relationship, rehashing mistakes that he made, things that he said, that he did. And as Neville talks about, sins are the old thoughts. Whatever sins that are currently presently going on in your life, those are just past thoughts that you've had that you haven't revised and haven't changed to start telling a new story. So a big part of helping kind of collapse time and space for this person in particular was making them change the way that they talk to themselves, their inner dialogue, their self-concept. So I made him forgive himself, and start speaking words of affirmation over himself so that he could look at himself and understand, okay, hey, listen, it's not your fault. We all been there. We've all done that. We've all had negative self-talk, negative actions towards a person, towards family members, whatever the case may be. And don't hold on to that. It's time to change those words. Look at yourself as the light. Look at yourself as the love of the world. Look at yourself as irresistible. Look at yourself as the only option, etc., etc. And then move on from there and to continue to build your foundation on your self-concept. Now, after that, what we did was we figured out where he had resistance around certain affirmations, because a lot of times when you guys start off on these journey of trying to manifest, and especially a specific person, but really with anything, but when it comes to manifesting an SP, a lot of you guys try to manifest and say affirmations and force affirmations, and it just doesn't work. Now, does it work for some people? Absolutely, it works for some people. But again, as I religiously said in all my videos, there is no one size fits all to this LOA approach. So you have to figure out what works for you. So for this guy in particular, we went general. So instead of saying affirmations, we kind of went to afformations. meaning asking affirmations in a question form. So instead of saying, oh, my SP is never leaving. I mean, my SP always stays with me. My SP, saying affirmations like this, my SP always stays with me. My SP never leaves. I told him to stop saying, I told him don't say those kinds of affirmations. I told him to say affirmations like, I wonder why my specific person didn't leave. I wonder why they didn't go to another country. I wonder why they are still staying here. I wonder why they still love me. I said say affirmations like that. I said to go general. Because when you ask your subconscious mind a question, it has to give you an answer. Versus the other way around, when you try to force and say affirmations that your subconscious mind doesn't accept, it will fight you for a very long time, most likely, which is why a lot of people don't get what they want because they give up after, say, a week or two, or whenever the deadline that they placed on their manifestation, whenever they place that deadline, they don't meet that deadline or it doesn't happen at that deadline. And so they say, oh, affirmations don't work. But really it has nothing to do with the affirmations. It's just you haven't been consistent long enough. And most likely you quit at some point or another. And that's why nothing worked out the way you did. So, like I said, we changed his affirmations around to being so solemnly focused on, his specific person. And we focused the affirmations on him as well as putting those affirmations into ask formations into a question form and really putting the focus on him and his self-love, right? Now, another thing that we did was got rid of the fear with time and space. And I told him that you have to look at time and space differently. If your person leaves, you don't know what could happen. They could go overseas and they could hate it. They could completely hate it. So a lot of times when these situations happen, you're looking at it like, oh, my person is going to leave. They're going to find somebody else. They're going to fall in love. They're going to blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, the facts well, I guess I shouldn't say facts, but at the end of the day, the reality could end up being, or the facts could end up being, is they could go to another country and do whatever, study for education or start a new job, and they could absolutely 1000% hate it. So a lot of times we place our assumptions too early on something without even knowing what's really going to happen. And so we create this story in our mind, this negative story in our mind, because most times most people are creating negative assumptions instead of positive assumptions. We create it and we say, oh, a person's going to go over there and leave. But every coin has two sides. So what happens if your person goes over there and they absolutely hate being in another state? They absolutely hate being in another country. They don't like the people that they work with. These are the things people, I realize, never think about because we always focus on the negative. So I helped get rid of the fear with this person and looking at time and space differently, letting him know, listen, 6 months is not going to be a long time. A year is not going to be a long time. If somebody can go 5 years without hearing from somebody, in my case, in my old situation with the old SP, if I can go 5 years without hearing from somebody, and then all of a sudden 5 years later they reach out, why are you worried about your specific person leaving for 6 months or leaving for a year? Because anything could happen. And that time and that space and that gap doesn't mean anything, because when the connection is there, if the love is there, if the caring is there, that stuff means absolutely nothing. Even if your void is filled by another person, by another relationship, even if your person gets in a relationship with two other people or three other people, whatever, it still doesn't matter. You still can be irreplaceable. It still can be redone, right? So working on getting rid of the fear with the time and space was another thing that we worked on. Different affirmations, different thought processes around that. And also, too, what we did was we revised past situations. Like I said, like Neville says, sin is the cause of reoccurring thoughts from the past, which is why they keep reoccurring. Family issues, different problems with, families not liking each other, families not liking the fact that you're with this person, different things. We went back in the past and fixed whatever issues in their particular situation might have occurred and revise that over and over again, however many times until, it feels natural. Revise the situation of seeing your person saying, oh, looks like they're not leaving. Looks like they're not going to another country or they're not going to another state. That type of stuff instead of the original scene with them telling you, hey, I am going to a new state. And the shock on their face, seeing and hearing like, oh, I'm actually staying. I'm not flying away. I'm not going. And the excitement around that feeling, creating that feeling, like Neville says, feeling is the secret, right? Which is what I said. Imagine hearing the text saying, I'm not going, or imagine that FaceTime conversation, what that would be like, you know? So these are some of the things, not going into too much detail, even more further than that, because I don't want to make this a long video, but these are some of the things that, you know, step-by-step process in this situation that I was able to work with this person one-on-one to help them kind of, you know, dial back the anxiety, dial back whatever depression may have been there, or whatever other emotions and feelings they might have been feeling, to kind of help them get back on track and kind of see things differently. Because it's a lot easier said than done, but also too, it's a lot easier when you have somebody in your corner and they can navigate you without any judgment and help you understand that anything really can be undone. It's just a matter of if you're willing to do the work on you, because at the end of the day, as you guys know, as they always talk about, everyone is you pushed out. So it's really about you getting into alignment with you. All right, guys, it's been another episode. Yours truly, Marv back. See you guys next time. You know where, you know when.